Time for a look at Panorama Comprehensive Events. Good evening and good morning. We start as usual with our main headlines. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi discusses the performance of the banking sector. Army Chief of Staff witnesses war inspection procedures at the Southern Military Zone. And Foreign Minister Shukri receives visiting Algerian counterpart, discuss a number of regional files. Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held a meeting on Saturday with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Tariq Amir, Governor of the Central Bank, discussing a number of economic files, on top of which was developing the performance of the banking sector. Details.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave his directives to resume developing the performance of the banking sector and to work on maintaining policies that aim at realizing the fiscal stability and boost the state's efforts to face different challenges. This came during the President's meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and Tariq Amir, the Governor of the Central Bank. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said that the CBE governor discussed the economic situation after nearly 1.5 years of the coronavirus spread, as the Egyptian economy provided the solidness which was reflected on the public banking institutions and the private sector. Amir also reviewed the steps taken to establish the new printing house of the CBE in cooperation with the secure documentation samples of the new banknotes, which will be issued next November. Amir highlighted the success of the central bank in managing the foreign reserve during the COVID-19 pandemic, as it reached $40.5 billion compared to $37 billion, coinciding with the successful state plan to contain the crisis. He pointed to the fruitful cooperation between the government and the World Bank, which hailed the performance of the Egyptian government, something which attracted more foreign currency during the first half of the year, equaling $5 billion.
The Armed Forces Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Mohammed Farid witnessed measures taken to promote the combat skills of units of the Southern Military Zone. Details.
Lieutenant General Mohammed Farid, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, witnessed the procedures for combat readiness inspection to rate the combat efficiency of one of the units of the Southern Military Zone in order to determine the extent of its readiness to carry out all the tasks assigned to it to secure the borders of Egypt on the southern strategic area. The exercise began with the rehearsal of combat efficiency report, which included the technical and administrative status of the troops in formation after developing and elevating their efficiency in all services to support their ability to carry out the tasks assigned to them. This was followed by an inspection to check the executing forces' readiness to determine the level of technical and combating efficiency of weapons and equipment. In a related context, Lieutenant General Mohammed Farid met with the Southern Military Zone personnel, some of them in person, and the rest combined with members of the main services through video conference, where he conveyed to them the greetings and appreciation of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, and the Minister of Defense and Military Production, Lieutenant General Mohammed Zaki, the General Commander of the Armed Forces, for their efforts and sacrifices to eliminate smuggling, infiltration, and illegal immigration, and to maintain the security of the country's southern border against any hostilities. He also discussed with them the method of carrying out their various combat missions and how to confront emergency situations that could be exposed. Lieutenant General Farid praised the high combat readiness and high morale of the Southern Military Zone personnel and their insistence on fulfilling their tasks and duties. He also called on the personnel of the Southern Military Zone to be vigilant, permanently prepared, maintain the highest levels of efficiency and combat readiness, keep attention to the development of the field skills of the combatants, refine the skills of the junior officers to make quick decisions under various circumstances to face all risks and threats that they may be exposed to during the implementation of various tasks, and maintain Egyptian national security.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry held a discussion session on Saturday with visiting Algerian Minister of Foreign Affairs Ramtan Lamamra. The meeting tackled the distinguished bilateral relations and means of boosting them in all fields. The two top diplomats also discussed regional and international issues of common concern and held a press conference. The details.
After a long meeting between Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and visiting Algerian Minister of Foreign Affairs Ramtan Lamamra, a press conference was held where the Algerian Foreign Minister said that he conveyed a message from Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune to President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi hailing distinguished bilateral relations. He said that coordination and cooperation between both countries are ongoing on all levels, the leadership and the different committees. On Libya, Shoukry said that Egypt pays high attention to neighboring countries, particularly Libya, stressing that a Libyan solution is a must to end the crisis. Shoukry reiterated Egypt's continued support to Libya and the Libyan people and stressed that Egypt seeks the retrieving of the stability and security of Libya. On his part, Lamamra said that the Libyan scene is witnessing progress, noting that the Libyan authorities should extend their sovereignty over all its territories. On Tunisia, the Algerian minister said that his country fully supports Tunisia, adding that what is happening is totally an internal affair. Shoukry on his part said that Egypt is closely following the developments in Tunisia, adding that Cairo is fully confident of the wisdom of the Tunisian leadership that seeks the interests of the Tunisian people. On the controversial Ethiopian dam, Lamamra said that Algeria hopes the three countries, Egypt, Sudan and Ethiopia, would reach a comprehensive legally binding agreement in the interests of the three countries and that preserve their respective water rights. On Lebanon, Shoukry urged the acceleration of the formation of a new cabinet for the sake of the Lebanese people, the security and stability of Lebanon, and to contain the dramatic economic crisis. As for the Palestinian cause, both ministers reiterated the importance of reaching an agreement that would end the suffering of the Palestinian people.
Earlier, the Algerian Foreign Minister visited Sudan and met with Sudanese